Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Neale Donald Walsch. And I have a few thoughts from him to share with you that leads into this morning's meditation. Just before I get started on that, just a reminder that the best way for you to prepare yourself for meditation, get into the meditation with us, is to, for a moment, put everything else down, focus on your breathing. So while I read, inhale through your nose, breathe the air all the way into your belly. Imagine that in your belly there's a balloon, and your inhale inflates the balloon in your belly, and then on your exhale, it's the balloon in your belly that deflates as the air comes back out again. And after a couple of minutes of slow, deep breathing, you'll be ready to float away with us on today's meditation. Sunmari, a very good morning. And Katrin, good morning. It's very good to see you. Thank you for visiting us today. And remember that just stopping for a few big, slow breaths is a great idea multiple times during your day. It doesn't have to last for 10 minutes. It could just be a minute or two. But every time you slow down your breathing, specifically focus on a long, slow exhale, it really calms your nervous system. It really brings you into a calmer space. Right, so if you're ready, let's dive into today's thoughts before meditation. It's all about thoughts, what your thoughts are and how to deal with thoughts. Your thoughts and beliefs are 100% responsible for the trajectory of your life. This is a reminder that you can take responsibility for the thoughts and beliefs that you create. And when you have created new thoughts and beliefs, then you've also created a new mind. If you've gone through a process to create a new way of thinking, a new way of believing, then you've completely shifted your mind. You've created a new mind. Linda, very good morning. It's good to see you. Right, thoughts from Neale Donald Walsch. He says, what you hope, you will eventually believe. What you believe, you will eventually know. What you know, you will eventually create. What you create, you will eventually experience. What you experience, you will eventually express. What you express, you will eventually become. This is the formula for all of life. Hey Anthony, good morning. Good seeing you, man. Neale Donald Walsch says, you are the creator of your reality. And life can show up in no other way for you than that way in which you think it will. It is all a question of perception. When you change your perception, you change your thoughts, and your thought creates your reality. Whatever outcome you could anticipate in any situation is already there for you. All of it. And then by changing your perception, awareness, and actions, you recreate yourself again and again. I'll read that one more time. By changing your perception, your awareness, and actions, you recreate yourself again and again. Most people are, however, in a state from where it's impossible to change their thoughts. You see, your thoughts are your reality, and while you are being the thoughts, you are trapped in the reality created by your mind. In order to change your thoughts, your beliefs, your perception, you have to first become familiar with exactly what all your thoughts and beliefs are. It is only through a process of learning to take a step back and looking at your thoughts and beliefs that you are no longer being the thoughts and beliefs. And now that you can clearly see your own thinking as it happens, you are empowered to say, hang on a moment, this is an old thought, an old story that I do not wish to keep repeating. From now on, I will respond in a new way every time this thought shows up. Meditation is the most powerful way to cultivate your own ability to become the witness to your thoughts. Keep showing up for yourself, keep changing your inner reality, and watch as your outer reality starts changing as well. Today's meditation is called The Observer, being the observer. It gives us the opportunity to really practice, really rehearse how we want to be able to take a step back and really see these thoughts and beliefs. So if you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away together. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head towards the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. Continue with your own full body breathing, inhaling all the way up and exhaling all the way down, while I remind you of what it is you're doing at the moment, what you are taking your body through. Just imagine you were part of a drama group. You're going to be putting on a play. Everyone gets their lines. Take it home and study these lines. And there's a couple of weeks before this play happens. Everyone has their lines at home, and everybody is diligently studying their lines. In this script that you have, it mentions things like who would be moving where on stage, who would be entering from which side, and who would be exiting on which side. It mentions the clothing you'll be wearing. It mentions when a costume change would be made. And everyone is doing their work to diligently memorize their lines. Then imagine opening night. Imagine that if, and you'll immediately recognize how strange this would be. Imagine that opening night, the seats are filled with people ready to watch this play. Imagine that that is the first time all of these actors and actresses come together. It's the first time they put on their costumes, and it's the very first time, even knowing all of their lines, it's the first time that they find themselves physically on this stage. How do you think opening night would go if there was no rehearsing, no full dress rehearsal, when there was no experience of doing the costume change, feeling and seeing people moving on the stage, adjusting how to perhaps do a better entrance or exit, where to stand closer, where to stand further. Imagine opening night without any rehearsal, and you have no idea what to expect. And this is why we do rehearsals. We want to have multiple rehearsals and full dress rehearsals so that on opening night, even though this is the first time it's full of people, it's not the first time we encounter this situation. When we do our own mental rehearsal, when we look at the day ahead, the week ahead, and anticipate what are the things that we could encounter, or when we look at past experience and say, if this past experience were to repeat itself again, let me rehearse. Let me try and prepare myself for a similar situation happening again. Then you'd find yourself more and more often in situations for which you feel already somewhat prepared. This is what meditation provides you, and it's very specifically what today's meditation does. Let's take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. Roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left and lean your upper body over to the right. As we take one more big breath in. And you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of being present as much as we are able to, at least, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. However, if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel how softness slowly settles in every muscle of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling, feel your body slowly softening, and feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, how much have you learned to become the observer of you? Take your next big breath. A thought on being the observer. As you take a step back and look at you, look at the thoughts you think, look at the actions you take. A key part of being the observer is that there can't be any judgment. There can't be any criticism. Because if there is judgment, if there is criticism, you're not being the observer. You're being the part of you that judges. You're being the part of you that criticizes, which means you haven't fully stepped outside of yourself into the place that we could perhaps call our soul, and just see without judging. This takes a lot of time to learn how to do. How have you been faring with this journey? Do you sometimes find yourself being able to step outside yourself and just look at this human who's trying? No judgment, no criticism. Do you sometimes find it difficult to do that? Please know that that is so normal. How well are you doing at being the observer? Take your next big breath. I want you to look backwards at perhaps the last week, and if you don't find examples in the last week, then search further back. Can you find an example of a situation which you wish you dealt with better? Perhaps a moment in which you were reactive and you're not really proud of how you reacted. If it's a really recent experience, that's great. Use that one. And perhaps you've really done good work and you have to search quite a bit further back to find an example of being highly reactive. Find an example of when you reacted in a way that you wish you did better. Perhaps you're not quite proud of how you reacted in that moment. Take your next big breath. Are you able to be the observer? Take a step outside of yourself and look at this very human example of you. Let's take a good, close look at that moment. And to try and remember as much of that moment as possible. When you look at you, could you perhaps remember what it was you were wearing in that moment where you were reactive? Take your next big breath. In this moment where you were reactive, can you remember the thoughts that were going through your mind? What were the thoughts that you were thinking just before you became overreactive? Take your next big breath. Can you remember what you said Were there words that came out of your mouth? Can you remember your body language? If you were to step outside of yourself and look at this human, would you perhaps be able to recognize the expression on your face? Take your next big breath. For the most part, our reactions, even when it turns out that they're really unhelpful, at the core of this human, the reaction is meant to be helpful. The reaction is meant to try and prevent something bad from happening. It is how our survival system works. Just imagine you could ask this very human you a question. Take a look at this version of you in this, having this experience, and just before you became reactive, reminding yourself of the thoughts you were thinking. If you could look at you, ask yourself this question and say, just before you reacted, what is it that you were afraid was going to happen? You had a reason for saying or doing what you did. What were you afraid was going to happen? Ask that question and take your next big breath. Every part of you is doing its best to survive, to help you survive and cope. And even in our worst reactions, there's almost always a deep need that tries to prevent something bad from happening, and that is why we react in such a big way. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slip out of the breath-holding space, and then rehearse a new response. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. as you release, invite softness to settle into every part of your body. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. Let's have a look at that same experience again, the same set of circumstances that led to a reaction that you wish you'd dealt with differently. And perhaps you have an understanding of how that reaction was meant to be helpful, even though it might not have been. It was trying to prevent something bad from happening. Let's imagine that we find ourselves in the same set of circumstances again, the same steps leading up to this. And let's rehearse for a moment how you would like to deal with it differently if it were to come about again. And in rehearsing, we find ourselves more and more often in situations that we feel slightly more prepared for. So if the same set of circumstances were to play out again, would you be able to remind yourself to take a deep breath? First, breathe, say nothing. First, breathe and soften. If the same set of circumstances were to repeat itself again, what are the thoughts that you want to be thinking? On the inside, what is it that you would like to remember saying to yourself while this plays out? If you were to find yourself in the same situation again, what would you want your body language to look like? How clear can you make that picture? If you were to find yourself in the same set of circumstances again, what would you want the expression on your face to be? There's a part of you that might still say, I'm afraid of this or that happening. Are you able to speak to that part of you calmly? And then if you were to speak, what would be the words out of your mouth? How would you want to articulate yourself? the more that we rehearse, the more that we find ourselves in situations for which we feel slightly more prepared. And it is okay if the next time this happens, you don't deal with it perfectly. Tell yourself that too. I'm doing better. I am doing my best, and I don't have to get this perfectly. But I'm taking baby steps all of the time. One More Thought by Neale Donald Walsch. It is all a question of perception. When you change your perception, you change your thoughts, and your thought creates the reality. Whatever outcome you could anticipate in any situation, it is already there for you. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this opportunity to rehearse. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to take a step back and really witness, really be the observer in the absence of any judgment. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning that if I feel judgment while looking at myself, I've not really stepped into that observer space yet. I'm still stuck in the part of me that judges. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning and experiencing how the more I rehearse, the more I feel myself prepared when even a new set of circumstances arise. I feel like this is not the first time I experience this. It feels like it doesn't blindside me. I've done this dress rehearsal before. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for joining us on stage for a full dress rehearsal and being just that little bit more prepared when life comes at us. Good morning, Pat. It's good to see you. Good morning, Nella. Hello, Leshna. And Quentin, thank you so much for joining us on today's journey. Have an awesome day, beautiful people. I think I'll read that last line from Neale Donald Walsch one more time. Whatever outcome you could anticipate in any situation, it is already there for you. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Sunmari. Thank you, Leshna. Catherine, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Anthony. So important. Remind yourself that it's baby steps. I like your comment, Anthony. Remind yourself that it's baby steps. Even with a lot of rehearsal, sometimes we still get caught in the same old reaction. It takes kindness towards yourself. That's just the observer again. It takes being gentle with yourself. Step into that space again. And, well, pick up your lines, practice them again, do the rehearsal again, and we do get better at this. But baby steps, and be kind to yourself along the way. Lots of love, y'all. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.